Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest and exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Motorhead Garage is presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings. No matter what kind of car you have, chances are the elements get to it whenever you're out on the road. You're talking heat, you're talking cold, rain, wind, and that means the rubber seals are usually the first to go. And Danny, you know, usually when we think of steel rubber, we're thinking of classic cars like this one. What kind of stuff do you have for the classic car folks out there?
So for classic car people, we have parts that are made specifically for their vehicle. If you've got a 65 Mustang, we've got parts for 65 Mustangs. This, for instance, is a trunk weather strip for a 66, 67 Lincoln Continental four-door convertible.
Huge car, by the way.
Right. The trunk weather strip, you know, it's got the convertible top in there. It's got a lot of really intricate pieces. This trunk weather strip is no different. You can see it's designed very purposefully for that, and it fits just like it did from the factory.
And it's super complicated. And you brought another one with you that's really complicated, but for not so much of a classic vehicle.
Not so much of a classic vehicle. This is for Astrovans, with the Dutch doors, the small doors on the bottom. And we have them for the cargo doors as well, but very intricate parts that are very specifically needed for that setup.
And there's still lots of folks using these as cargo vans, and they find that the seals are the first thing to go. And
absolutely. And those parts are being requested, so we're making them. Likewise, we have parts for S10 trucks. That's what these window felts are.
Which I call window fuzzies, and there's lots of names for them.
Belt lines, cat whiskers, yeah, anti-rattles. So we have parts that are made specifically for that. So it's got factory cut corners, it's got clips right where they should go. The same with these. These are made for a Ford Ranchero. So they have the clips right where they should go, just like the original parts.
These are so specific. So how do you manufacture parts, and how do you come up with the parts you need for vehicles like that?
Well, all the parts that we make for a car usually come from customer originals. Someone requesting, hey, can you make this? And sometimes we can. So that's what's happened with all of these. Similarly, we also work with a lot of people who may not have a car that had weather stripping on it to begin with, like this 29. It may not have had rubber on it. So we can still find a solution for them to fix any kind of seal issue.
So what'd you bring in that regard?
So for them, we have our universal line. Universal belt lines if they're working on their windows. We have universal door seals, trunk seals, any kind of bumper and grommet that may be specific for something, you can also find in that universal street rod section. And to help you find out what you need, we have our sample packs. It's great to have a little piece to test fit on there, as well as our catalogs.
I know that the rubber seals are kind of the last thing to go on a vehicle whenever you're restoring one or building one. How many folks treat it like an afterthought and really kind of do it the wrong way to begin with?
I think it is treated a little bit like an afterthought. You even see paint sprayed on weather stripping and not pulled off before they paint, but it really goes a long way for the looks of the car to have a nice piece of weather stripping. It protects it, it makes it look better, especially when you got vent windows and they're cracking and the belt line, the window felts are cracking. It doesn't look really good.
And when you've got something where the engine's not making as much noise as this one, you hear a lot of wind noise sometimes going down the road, and you guys can help prevent that too.
Yeah, wind noise is a big complaint, and even if it's trying to fix an issue and not a whole seal replacement, we do have items that can fill any kind of gap.
How specific do your catalogs get?
We do year, make, model, and even body style specific catalogs. So if you got a Chevy Astrovan, we can get you a catalog just for a 2000 Chevy Astrovan, or just for a 66 Continental four-door convertible. And it'll have the parts for that car, nothing else. You don't have to worry about if it fits your body style or not. We have the Universal, which is kind of our catch-all for all of our different profiles, bumpers, and grommets. And then we have our RV and Marine catalog, which shows all the products that are specific to those vehicle types. Big slide-outs on the RVs or some of the special windows on boats.
And you guys are really relied on by some pretty important people out there. I saw something new on your website, service vehicles.
Yeah, we're actually doing parts that are very specific to fire trucks and ambulances. People who are on the front lines, and they need rubber parts as well, so we're making that for them.
Well, no matter what the vehicle, you can find rubber parts for it at steelrubber.com. Whether it's a restoration, a new build, or your vehicle's just getting tired, check them out. We'll be right back with more Motorhead Garage presented by NHOU Protective Coatings right after this.